Mike Palmer from Know Your Rights Group and Success Coaching International with another very positive video update tonight, thankfully. So I spoke on the last video update I did about Bovea and how it's being used in trials to see if it can supposedly have a positive effect on climate change. Now, on Tuesday night's radio show, we actually discussed how Bovea is now being trialled right here in Australia, and Craig Kelly is actually calling out Coles for their use of Bovea tainted meats before proper trialling and testing has been completed. Now, on that same radio show, we also read out a question that was posed in Parliament, once again, about climate change by Senator Rennick. Now, that question is so important, and no one to date seems to have been able to respond to it, so I'm going to read it out quickly again for everyone here tonight. So this is the email that's been sent out, and it's quite to the point and very clear. It says, last week I asked the Minister representing the Minister for Science how the energy absorbed by an electron via a photon inside a carbon dioxide molecule can subsequently heat up the surrounding atmosphere, given an electron has 1,800 times less mass than a proton or neutron. The alarmists claim an extra 140 parts per million of CO2 is heating the Earth by 1.4 degrees. This can be broken down as saying for every extra CO2 molecule, 10,000 surrounding N2 or O2 molecules have heated up by 1 degree. For this to happen, the CO2 molecule has to be around 6,600 degrees in order to transfer 1 degree of heat, which is energy, to every one of those 10,000 molecules. CO2 is around 1.5 times heavier than the average weight of N2 and O2. The idea that the energy absorbed by an electron at 14.8 microns can do this is absurd. It's like claiming a lake will boil if you throw a feather on it. Let's not forget that gases are poor conductors of heat in the first place. So he's put that out there to Parliament. No one's been able to respond yet. So I urge you to go and look that up and see if you can get your heads around it as well, and put that question out yourselves and see if anyone else can answer this seeming conundrum. Now, as we said on Tuesday night's radio show, given the huge ongoing debate about climate change, and again, I obviously can't say too much on this video due to the good old fact checkers, but we certainly did speak our minds very, very freely on Tuesday night's radio show if you want to listen to the podcast. But given that ongoing debate, why are they using such potentially toxic solutions simply to reduce cows farting when they can't even answer the simple scientific facts as to how this earth is supposedly being heated with this extra CO2? Once again, it doesn't make much sense, unless, of course, you understand how they intend to profit from it, and then, of course, it becomes much clearer. Now, speaking of climate change, I noted in the post that I put up for tonight's video that I'd be sharing a number of positive stories, and our first is in relation to the people power victory to potentially have the Port Stephens offshore wind project finally scrapped. So anyone who's signed up for the advance campaigns will have seen an email similar to this. Dear such and such, this is incredible. The tables have completely turned. You no longer listen to them. They now listen to you. What am I talking about? Peter Dutton has just announced that a coalition government would scrap the offshore wind project off the coast of Port Stephens, thanks to you. No, seriously, here's what the opposition leader Peter Dutton told reporters yesterday. We will lose literally hundreds of thousands of jobs if the Albanese government is re-elected, because in coalition with the Greens, they don't have any regard for businesses or jobs or industry. That would be a devastation. You did that. You kept the pressure on the major parties and their destructive renewables ambitions that saw farmland torn apart, communities destroyed, and power bills skyrocket. You saw that net zero was bringing Australians to their knees, and you spoke out no matter the risks and no matter what people would say. You didn't back down. You joined Advance's campaigns, and that's the lesson for all of us. This is very personal for me. This is the offshore wind project near where I live. It's the reason why I joined Advance, to fight against this blight that was looming over my community. But the fight isn't over yet. Industrial-sized wind and solar farms are still wreaking havoc across the country. They are destroying our regional communities, and they cost the earth. And it will continue if the Greens and Labor have any say. And this is why it is now time to double down. Advance's Dollars and Destruction documentary is about to be released across the country. Funded entirely by Advance supporters, this documentary will change the hearts and minds of Australians about what renewables are doing to our country. We're racing towards 30,000 signatures on the petition calling on the government to stop the renewables destruction. So there should be a link going up in the comment section on this video. If you're watching it on Facebook, if you're watching it on YouTube, just do a search under the Advance Campaign for Renewables petition, and of course do be sure to add your signature to that. Okay, so once again, this is, of course, all part of the green agenda, and it's really great that, A, so many people are waking up to the true costs of these projects, and more importantly, B, that the politicians are now actually listening to the will of the people. So keep up the great work, and let's keep the pressure on our politicians. So there's even more positive stories tonight. Many of you will also recall from my last video update that I spoke about what a tough time poor old Dan Andrews was having in his home state of Victoria, which he all but single-handedly destroyed over COVID. He was being rejected from restaurants and golf clubs and things like that. Well, now Jim Penman, who's the owner of all the Jim's franchises, you know, Jim's Mowing, Jim's Accounting, all those sorts of things, he's come out and categorically stated that Andrews is forbidden from using any of the various Jim's franchises, and he's even calling out other contractors not to do any work for Dan and his family. Now, I think this is absolute gold. If you missed this article, and especially if you're in Victoria, you'll definitely want to read this. Jim's Mowing delivers yet another devastating blow to Dan Andrews. Jim's Mowing boss Jim Penman has officially cancelled Dan Andrews at his company and told the ex-Victorian Premier he is banned from using any of the franchise King's services. Mr. Penman is the latest in a growing list of business owners, including multiple hospitality heavyweights, to publicly ban Andrews. The franchise king told Daily Mail Australia he had cancelled Andrews and believes all of Victoria should blacklist the former Polly too. If I was on the tools, I wouldn't work for him, and I'd encourage any franchisee or independent contractor to do the same. He threw over 100,000 independent contractors out of work for 2 months without any form of health advice, as has now been proved by our lawsuit. It must be humiliating for him getting blacklisted. He was all-powerful, sitting on his throne at Spring Street, wagging his fingers, saying who can work and who can't, but people now have the power. I would hope he leaves. He's running out of options. I would recommend he leave Victoria. The amount of damage he's done to this state is immeasurable. And then he finishes off the article. He says, it is also ludicrous, this business of Andrews running this mental health organisation. It's like letting rapists run women's shelters or pedophiles running childcare centres. Andrews has done more to undermine mental health than anyone in the state's history. I've seen the effects firsthand. I've seen people lose homes and families. I actually know these people. So it is brilliant that Jim's come out and said that, and it is truly heartwarming, for me at least, to see so many big names in business like Jim Penman, like Chris Lucas, Paul DiMartino, who we spoke about on the last one, you know, actually calling Andrews out and banning him. And look, long may it continue, and may dictator Dan finally start to get a dose of his own medicine and start to feel what he subjected all Victorians to over COVID, not being able to go out anywhere and not do anything. And it looks like the Andrews family may be about to cop it on another front as well, because, of course, the Mullerman's bike boy case against Andrews is now actually proceeding to court. So if you've missed the news on that, here it is. It says, father of injured cyclist lashes out at Andrews' crash case as Andrews' crash case heads to civil trial. A civil stoush over a crash between cyclist Ryan Millerman and Daniel Andrews' wife Catherine is headed to trial after mediation failed. Millerman's barrister James Catlin confirmed on Monday the case was expected to go to trial after his client was injured in a 2013 crash with the former Premier's wife, assuming she was actually driving. Millerman is suing Slater and Gordon, alleging it failed to properly investigate the circumstances of the collision at Blairgowrie in January 2013. Millerman's father Peter said Slater and Gordon was unable to explain how it became involved with the collision in the first place. I mean, it should be a simple thing to explain, shouldn't it? And yet, after all these years, 11 years, they still can't explain how they actually got involved. Something doesn't add up again. Instead of looking after Ryan, Slayton and Gordon protected Daniel Andrews because Daniel Andrews was about to become the most powerful man in Victoria. Millerman's lawyers have subpoenaed a Victoria Police Professional Standards Command report into the crash and internal review of the police investigation. The case is due before the Supreme Court of Victoria for a post-mediation hearing on January 29 next year. Trial date's been listed for May the 12th. And then the end of the article finished off, it says, Catherine Andrews was driving a taxpayer-funded four-wheel drive when the then 15-year-old cyclist was hit, and the then opposition leader was in the car along with their three children. Interesting that none of the kids have spoken out or said what they saw either, isn't it? Everyone's keeping very tight-lipped. No charges were laid at the time. Why the hell not? Police who attended the scene did not breathalyse anyone in breach of standard operating procedures. The officers were given a warning, but were ultimately cleared of any wrongdoing. How? How does this happen? I mean, seriously. This failure and a subsequent refusal by Victoria Police to release crash documents requested by media under Freedom of Information laws prompted the independent, broad-based Anti-Corruption Commission to review police handling of the incident. So let's hope they dig deep and let's hope they come up with lots and lots of dirt. As I've said to a number of people in recent times, you know, they never got to hold Al Capone accountable for all his crimes, but what they did manage to do was get him on tax evasion. So we might unfortunately never get to see Andrews held to account for, you know, what he did to Victorians during COVID, but hopefully we can see the truth about what happened to Ryan come out and have Andrews and his family held to account for at least that instead. I guess time will tell, and we'll certainly be following that case closely. Now, on the topic of what Andrews did to Victoria during COVID, I have another heartwarming story to share with everyone. And this one is actually about a German nurse who injected 8,600 patients with salt water instead of COVID-19 vaccines and walked out of court a free woman. As they say, not all heroes wear capes. So here is the story, and I urge you all to have a read of it because it's a great little tale. German nurse avoids jail after injecting thousands with saltwater shot instead of COVID vaccine. Red Cross nurse Antje T, 39, was given 6 months of probation Wednesday after being found guilty in a German court of 6 counts of intentional assault, according to the Mirror in the UK. The nurse jabbed 8,600 people who were mainly hospital employees, educators and doctors over the age of 70 between March and April 2021. Police who testified said the nurse was able to covertly replace the COVID vaccines because she was preparing the syringes during her shift. She wasn't caught until late April of last year when another employee saw her swap the COVID vaccines for the saltwater solution and inject it into 6 patients. The nurse told police she only used the saltwater solution because she accidentally broke 6 vials and was ashamed to tell her co-workers about it. Seems fair and reasonable to me. The nurse also had multiple social media posts expressing skepticism about COVID vaccines. The accused had shared various conspiracy theories on the internet and on social media, the court spokesperson said. However, the chamber could not determine with the necessary certainty that this set of ideas was the motives for her actions and that she and that she then acted to sabotage a vaccination campaign. So, look, I mean, it is great to see true justice finally being served in the courts for once. And I'm sure you guys can understand and appreciate what I'm getting at and connect the dots here. Again, I can't say too much. And there's even more good news to share tonight. It's just good news after good news after good news. Because now the RBA has come out and admitted that cash withdrawals have increased significantly over the past financial year, and cash really seems to be making a comeback, which is fantastic news. So here is another heartwarming article for everyone to go and have a look at, and shows that what we're telling people to do is working. RBA finds cash withdrawals increased to $106.85 billion in vote against cashless society. New figures have revealed Aussies are taking out more cash in years, and the value of ATM withdrawals has massively spiked. While cashless payment types like using your card, phone or watch are the overwhelming favourite in Australia, cash appears to be making a comeback. The Reserve Bank of Australia has released data showing that despite the number of ATMs across the country dwindling, there was $106.85 billion worth of cash withdrawn in the 23-24 financial year. That was up from the $104.02 billion recorded in 22-23. Australians want cash and are voting for cash with their wallets and withdrawing more of their money from their accounts and walking around with it in their pockets. Cash Welcome founder Jason Bryce said. The numbers speak for themselves. And then there's a little subheading, cash makes comeback despite digital payment dominance. Back in October 2021, the average ATM withdrawal amount was $289, according to the RBA. Fast forward to September this year, and that's jumped up to $309, which is the highest number recorded for any month in that time period. The number of notes on issue in Australia has also jumped dramatically in recent months. So this is all very, very positive news. And as I said, it really does show that our message, urging people to use cash at every opportunity is clearly getting through. So please, especially during this upcoming very busy Christmas period where people just tend to naturally spend a little more than usual, please make sure that you do pay in cash. Now, this, of course, is the perfect time to remind everyone about Jason Bryce's petition, which is, of course, to legislate a formal cash and banking guarantee in this country to force all shops to accept cash. Again, you'll find a link in the comments section if you're watching on Facebook. Otherwise, just look up petition to legislate formal cash and banking guarantee, and you'll find that online. Of course, make sure you also join the Call Out Cashless Businesses Facebook group. Again, you'll find a link in the comments. Let's keep naming and shaming these businesses that refuse to accept cash, and of course promoting those that do take it. Make sure you also join the sister group, the Cash is King discussion group, which is a great place to share these stories, share these videos. Let's get this message out there, far and wide, so people understand, the true dangers of this cashless society agenda, so that they can all keep standing up and fighting back against it. All right, now the final piece of positive news that I want to share with everyone tonight is the fact that we are running our 25% off Christmas discount promotion early this year. We know that Australia Post has been plagued with delivery issues this year in particular. Some people not receiving orders, some of them receiving weeks later, and we want to ensure that everybody who wants to read through some of our information over this upcoming Christmas period can do so. We also understand that there are a lot of people who are genuinely doing it tough, doing it hard this year, again in particular. So we wanted to help ease that pressure a little bit and provide that discount now rather than after Christmas when everyone's off, doing other things anyway, so people can access our important information and of course have the time to read through it during the upcoming Christmas break. What we want to do is we want to ensure that 2025 is the year that we truly all reclaim our rights, because as our tagline says, those who don't know their rights have none. So what we're doing to help everybody out this year, it is a full 25% discount. In other years, it's only been 20%. We're extending it to the full 25%. It's basically on all of our physical products. Some of the things like our DVD, USB drives that we provide them at cost price, so we can't do much on those. But pretty much everything else, and it'll all be sent out by express post as well to ensure that you get them in time for Christmas. They're fully trackable, and that way you can ensure you got them for yourselves, or of course if you want a special gift for a friend, family member, loved one, co-worker, anyone else that you know who wants to or really needs to learn about their rights. So all you need to do, just enter the word Christmas into the coupon code box that comes up on the shopping cart page, and then that discount will be automatically applied. Now, please note that it does apply to our Know Your Rights book, obviously first and foremost. It also applies to all of our CDs, DVDs, including our brand new affidavit and submissions disc. It also applies to that brand new court success pack that we just launched last week, which is the affidavit CDs and all of those key documents, those Constitution Commission reports, and all of those FOI responses from the government as well. You print those off, you add them into the affidavit, and it is going to give you, a super strong court case. So it applies to all of those. Obviously applies also to our home study course. We have just had a brand new run of home study courses made, so we've got some extras. We know that plenty of people are going to want to spend the time over the Christmas break going through this. It is the perfect period when you've got a week or two off of work to start going through the DVDs and the workbooks that are of most interest to you. So do grab that home study course. You'll find links in the description. Now, it also applies to all of our packs as well. So if you get our combo pack, which obviously has our Know Your Rights book, as well as the Aussie Speeding Fines book and the Bank Secrets Revealed book, all of those combo packs, and even some of our bigger packs, so our Platinum Power Pack, even things like our already significantly reduced Ultimate Platinum Pack. Now this actually, if you have a look in there, I'm not going to tip it up, otherwise everything will fall out, but you can see how much stuff is in there. It's basically every single physical product, okay, that we have, that Aussie Speeding Fines has, that Bank Secrets Revealed had. It's all in there it's already discounted anyway because you're buying it as a pack. Then you get an extra 25% off. So if you're really serious about learning about your rights, you want to dive right in. A couple of people have already taken advantage of that this week. Do make sure you grab that. And even things like our tech packs. So even though the actual DVD units on their own aren't discounted, if you buy them as part of the tech pack with the USB drive and the mouse mat, we put it all together. And again, there's still that further discount. So we want to make it as simple for people as possible to get access to what they want or need this Christmas period. So just jump onto our products page. Again, you should find a link in the comment section there, and you'll find all the details of all of the products. Now that promotion must end next Tuesday, which of course coincides with our final live radio show for the year. So do be sure to get in before then to secure that discount. And of course, do make sure you listen live to our Christmas special show, which you can do via the big black listen live button on our radio show page. Again, there should be a link in the comments, and that's between 8 and 10 p.m. next Tuesday night. All right, so I am going to do what I always do at the end of these videos and finish off with the latest testimonial that one of our members has sent through, and of course some more memes to get people thinking about what's going on at the moment. So this is a detailed testimonial from James. Now this one's actually quite interesting. He says, "Hi legends, just want to pass on this huge win. For context, this is for historic fines that had entered the deregistration zone from the 2020 to 2022 COVID era. There was a series of applications and submissions to the Director of Fines Victoria over these matters. All were rejected. We asked for authority and oaths of office of everyone from the Attorney General down to the issuing officer, stating that if a company is forced to pay, will be bankrupt and be using all information in defence of any potential action. About 3 days later, we were appointed an investigation officer from the Department of Justice, Alex. I was asked by him to give a submission, which included me being homeless, transient, giving an essay on what it's like to run a business while homeless, providing evidence from Australia Post about mail tampering at post office boxes, mail delivery dramas during COVID, etc. So 3 obligations totaling $10,050 have been completely extinguished. 2 fines in the final stage being refreshed to allow nomination. So the credits of my payments will go towards a few parking fines and the rest will be returned to my bank account. More importantly, Alex has provided a backdoor on what to do when your fines are at collection. Happy to discuss further. Very interesting. Thanks again, JD. So, yeah, as you can see, $10,000 worth of fines just written off. So, again, also, if you don't yet have that Aussie Speeding Fines book, make sure you grab that. You'll find a link in the description. All right, so speaking of Dan Andrews and Victoria, I thought this was a very appropriate meme from the good old Lion King. And Simba says to Dad, Dad, what's that dark place to the south? That's Victoria, son. You must never go there. And there's certainly a lot of people in this country that feel that way. We spoke obviously at the start of the video about the cows farting, and here is what the real issue is. Again, they're very, very small, but as it says, just a reminder that the earth doesn't have a cow farting problem. It has a greedy, psychopathic oligarchy trying to control the food supply problem. And that, of course, is what we're really dealing with. But look, the truth is coming out, and as it says there, the truth is no longer hidden. The truth is very easy to find on these videos, our radio shows, and our books, and our products, all that sort of stuff. The problem is, okay, now people are trying to hide from the truth because it's inconvenient. Okay, it doesn't feel very nice to realize that you've been lied to and deceived for so long. But the truth, as they say, shall set you free. Okay, so please get your head around the truth. Go to our website, read all the information there, watch these videos, listen to the shows, read the books, do all the rest of it. Because once you understand the truth, you go, oh, okay, and you'll never be able to look at the world the same way again. And this one also caught my attention. I'm sure a lot of you watching this video can relate. And I dare say 2025 is going to be more of the same. So here they are from 2021 to 2023. You're a granny killer, you're selfish, you're irresponsible, you're a conspiracy theorist. And now in 2024, when all the truth's coming out, it's like, oh, why didn't you tell us? Well, we've been here for many, many years sharing the truth on these videos, sharing the truth in our live events, sharing the truth on our radio shows. The truth is there, sharing the truth on our websites, but you need to access it and learn it for yourselves. So I'm going to leave things there for tonight. As always, please, I urge you, okay, make use of all of these resources that are available to you to please get informed, get fired up once you learn the truth, and get proactive. That's what we need this year more than ever. Again, the videos completely free to watch. The radio shows, completely free to listen to. Our last show next Tuesday between 8 and 10 p.m. If you do want to listen to the past podcasts, the last 402 shows that we've done now, it costs less than $5 a week to join up as a podcast member. So it's a very, very small amount. So it is accessible for everybody. The videos are on our BitChute channel, our YouTube channel, also on the videos tab on our Facebook page. So again, very, very easy to access. And then, of course, we've got the books and the CDs and DVDs that I went through before. Again, if you want to, especially if you need to, please do take advantage of that 25% Christmas discount. You'll find the details on the products page. Don't forget, it is warming up, so we do still have our caps. And yes, they're as part of the promotion as well. So grab those too. And we will be back on Tuesday night for our final live radio show for the year. And then, of course, we'll be back next Thursday for our next live video update. Until then, have a fantastic weekend, everyone. Take care.